Hello everyone, welcome back. In this session, we will see few questions that you may face in the interviews. I cannot cover every question in this one session. That's why I've just taken very few questions for now. Going forward, we can cover many more questions in the next sessions. So before we go further, please keep in mind that these questions will not be exactly same what you may get in the interviews because the interviews can be based on different factors. It depends on the person who is interviewing you and depends on the knowledge he has in Power BI and the scope of the project and which company are going for the interview. There are many factors involved that you may face the questions in the interview. But I am going to give a few questions that you may expect in the interviews, but not exactly same. But this will help you in answering few questions, even though if you don't know how to answer the questions. So just see in that way, but don't see that we only get these questions. So do also your own research because this will cover most of the questions, but still there will be few we may not even know what they will ask. So that's why I just want to tell this before we go into the questions. And also the questions can be from different topics. It can be from Power BI desktop, from Power Query questions and data modeling questions, Power BI service questions, and a few visuals, DAX, and SSIS tabular or multidimensional also. Sometimes depends on the company you're going, and also some ETL questions. So if you're going for a role of both SSIS and BI together, they can also ask you about SSIS questions or any other ETL tool what they're expecting you to do in the company. So before we go further, I'll also want to tell one more thing. In Power BI, there are no set of questions for 1 plus years of experience, 2 plus or 3 plus or 4 plus. Because Power BI was very new until the last before year or last year. So many people in the market are about 2 plus or 3 plus, very rarely 4 plus. That is why there are no set of questions that you can expect only these questions for 2 plus or 3 plus or 4 plus, because we have all the common questions we can expect for any kind of experience. So that is why I'm going to cover from the very basic questions. Maybe if 2 plus years of experience person go for interview, they may not expect much scenarios. If 4 plus years of experience go for interview, maybe they expect some scenarios. Again, that depends on the person who is interviewing you. So please take these as a reference, but not just as exactly the questions what you may face in the interview. So let's see what exactly we can discuss today. So I'll just start with very basic questions. The first one is architecture of Power BI. It is very standard question and straightforward question, and also there is no different answers for this one. We have only one set of answer for this. We have different sources available from SQL Server, Excel, or Oracle. There are different sources. From that source, we can take data to Power BI desktop, which is our desktop environment for Power BI, and there we develop the reports. We do data modeling, we do Power Query operations, we develop the reports, we write DAX and everything. Once everything is done, we publish the report to Power BI service, which is our cloud-based deployment service from Power BI, where we can use that to share the reports to different people in the organization, and we can see those reports in the mobiles or tabs or PCs. That's a general architecture we have in Power BI. But if you are going for on-premises deployment, we can use Power BI report server instead of Power BI service. That's the only thing will change, but everything is same. And for data refresh, we also use data gateways in between. Maybe you can also elaborate, that's up to you, but this is simple thing we can tell about architecture of Power BI. And second thing is, what are different connectivity methods available in Power BI? So we now have three different methods. One is import mode, other one is direct query mode, and third one is mixed mode, which we also call them as composite models. So that's the simple answer for this question. If they ask you to elaborate what is import, what is direct query, and what is composite models, you can tell further. And what is different between import and direct query? This is a common questions you get in the interviews, because without knowing this one, we cannot even develop the report. That is why it is very common question. You can expect 90% of the interviews wherever you go. Import is a very common connectivity method in Power BI Desktop. It can be any kind of data source. It can be SQL Server or Excel or Oracle or any kind of web APIs, whatever it is. This is a common method we use. So once we use this method, it will load complete data into Power BI Desktop and store in the Power BI Desktop. If you have 1 lakh records in the source level, it will pull everything into Power BI and store here. So every time you refresh the data set, that keeps loading data into Power BI desktop, it is a full refresh. And in the direct query mode, we cannot load data to Power BI desktop, we can just create connection. So we have seen this in our previous sessions in the Power BI desktop playlist, how the import works and how direct query works. You can also refer those videos. But we go for direct query, especially if you have huge amount of data and if you cannot load everything to Power BI desktop because of limitations of Power BI desktop like 1 GB limitation and also 10 GB limitation Power BI service. We usually go for direct query method, and also if you want live reporting, because import mode is a batch reporting, because if you want to see live reporting we cannot go for import mode. If you want batch reporting only, we can go for import mode, like for example 1 day delay refresh or 6 hours, depends on whatever the refresh frequency your company is expecting to you to do. Depends on that, we can go for import mode. And if you want live reporting, we can go for direct query mode. Of course, this is the primary difference between these two. There are many advantages and disadvantages, like import is fast compared to direct query because data is already present in Power BI desktop. That is why it will not go back to source every time to pull data. That is why it is very fast. And direct query mode, if you try to do something in the Power BI desktop level or in the Power BI service level, it will send back some queries in the backend to the data sources and pull everything at that point of time. That is why bit slow, we can expect some latency in the reporting. And also in direct query, few DAX functions will not work, few Power Query functions will not work. In the import mode, everything will work without any issues. So if you want to leverage more DAX and more Power Query operations, we can go for import mode. If you don't want to leverage more DAX and more Power Query, we can do everything in the source level, like all the union operations, all the filter clauses, and all the joins, whatever you want to do, you can do everything in the source level. If you just want to see the output of the query result, you can use direct query mode. Of course, we can also use DAX here, but in general, if you are using direct query, it is recommended to use all the operations in the source level, data source level. And that's the primary difference between these two. And also in the import mode, we can schedule the refresh up to 8 times a day if you are a pro user. And direct query mode, we no need to refresh because it is a live connection. We don't want to refresh the data because it's always live reporting. And the next question is about data sources. So this is also one of the common questions you face in the interviews. So for example, let's say you are working on SQL Server in your company and you're going for a new company where they use Oracle or maybe MySQL or PostgreSQL, whatever it is. They may just want to know like whether you're familiar with these sources or not. So you can tell exactly what you have worked on. Even I've worked just 8 to 10 sources so far in my experience. Maybe in future, if I go to a new company, if they use different sources, I have to adopt those sources. That's the only thing we can do. It will not stop you to get a job if you work on different sources compared to the source what they're using in their company. So that's why you can just tell what are the source you worked on in your company. That would be enough. And composite models, why we go for that? So we know it is a third method we use in Power BI. So if you want to combine both import mode and direct query mode together, then we call it as composite models, which we call as mixed mode. So we have seen this in our previous sessions in Power BI desktop playlist. So for example, we generally know if you have big tables, big fact tables, if you don't want to import everything to Power BI desktop, we can use only fact tables as direct query, and we can use dimension tables which we don't change frequently in the backend. We can use them as import mode. So we can use a combination of dimension tables as import mode and fact tables as direct query mode, where we can also improve the performance of the report refresh frequency. That is one of the common scenarios we go for composite models. So you can also tell these things in the interview. And limitations, we know this is a common question again. We have 1 GB limitation in Power BI desktop, and we have 10 GB limitation in Power BI service. So 1 GB limitation means Power BI file size. So even I've told this in our previous sessions in the Power BI desktop list. If you keep loading data to Power BI desktop, the Power BI file size keeps increasing. So Power BI has a different mechanism. It will compress the data. We have Vertipack engine in the backend. So this is the same engine for Power BI desktop and also for SSIS tabular model. So even if you load millions and millions of data, the data keeps compressing and stored in the Power BI desktop. That is why even if you take millions of data, the size will be very small. But still, if you have very huge amount of data, like billions and billions of data, in that case, or even more millions of data, the file say the Power BI, the PBX file says may go up to 1 GB or even more. In that case, we cannot publish the report to Power BI service. That is one limitation. Other one is we have 10 GB limitation in Power BI service per workspace per user. So because once you're done with the reporting in the Power BI desktop, you have to publish back to Power BI service. In that case, based on your reporting size in the Power BI desktop, the same space will occupy in Power BI service workspace. If you have more number of reports in Power BI service, in that case, the size in the Power BI service also will keeps increasing. So let me show you that. So here, if you go to any workspace, for example, if you go to the ServiceNow workspace, if you click on these three dots and if you go to the settings and manage group storage, here we can see how much space was used in this workspace. So maximum we can see 10 GB. So depends on the number of reports you publish to this workspace, the dataset size, whatever we have, that will accumulate this space. That is one limitation. If you don't want these limitations, we have to use Power BI Premium. Maybe we can discuss about this in next sessions in the interview questions. What are those and how we can use that. But there is a video separately for Power BI Premium. You can also check in Power BI service playlist. What is Premium and why we go for that? I've explained in detail. So please also watch that video if you have any questions on Power BI Premium. And next thing is about the filters. You may also expect this question. So we have majorly three different type of filters in Power BI Desktop. We have page level filters, report level filters, and also visual level filters. So for example, one report has multiple pages. It can be only one page or two page or 10 pages also, or even more than that. So if you would like to filter one visual, we can go for visual level filters. If you would like to filter one specific page for all the visuals, we go for page level filters. If you would like to apply filter for all the visuals and all the pages, we go for report level filters. These are the three different filters available in the Power BI desktop. So we can see that in the right hand side filter pane where we can apply the filters in the report level. And next one is parameters versus filters. We have seen this in last video in detail. What are these filters and what are the parameters and when we go for that. So to tell about this in interviews, how we can tell is filters are like slices in the report. Once we load data, then we can use filters. Parameters we cannot use after loading data. Parameters will help to load the data at the data source level. Parameters are not just only connection parameters. In the last example, we have seen connection parameters about different servers and databases. It is not only that. If you remember, we have something called Power BI template files. So even there also we use parameters. We call them as PBIT files. So it is you can tell this for this question. We have .pbit files, which is Power BI template files. So if you would like to restrict the data coming to the Power BI desktop, we can create some parameters in the data source level, in the Power Query level. Based on the parameter whatever you pass there, the data gets filtered completely in the report, and only that data will be taken to the Power BI desktop. So even in that cases, we can go for parameters. Filters is a common thing. So yeah, you can tell in these things. In PBITs or template files, we can use parameters. Or if you would like to restrict something in the data source level, we can use parameters. And next question is what kind of reports you develop and about some custom visuals you worked on your projects. So this is something about project specific because not everyone will work on same project. I mean same kind of business. Few may work on financial projects, few may work on operations projects, few may work on HR projects, and there are many different domains, different streams we can expect in the company to work on the reporting. So you can tell what kind of reports you develop in your real time. And if they ask about custom visuals, also this is not mandatory because maybe for example, if you are developing a report with 2 pages, in that report, you may not even require to get custom visuals. But in few reports, you may require to get custom visuals. So that is why it is not mandatory that a person should use custom visuals. But yes, most of the times we use the custom visuals in the reporting. So you can tell what kind of visuals are used in your real time. There are many custom visuals, but frequently we use chiclet slicers, bullet charts, and a few gauges we use in the custom visuals. Yeah, depends on that. You can tell about these custom visuals. And next question is, what are bookmarks and why we use them? So we have seen this in detail in our Power BI desktop sessions, and how to create bookmarks and how to use them and how to use toggles between the pages and everything. So please refer those videos. But in general, if someone asks about these questions, you can tell bookmarks are like just a snapshot of the report pages. So if you would like to capture the report page state at this point of time, you can create bookmarks and we can use in the report with the help of actions. So actions means in the Power BI desktop, if you click on something, you should see something. So that is called action we call. So in the Power BI desktop, we can see some buttons. We can insert some buttons. If you go to the insert tab at the top of the page, and there we can insert and click on the blank button or any buttons you can use. And once you click on the button, in the properties of that buttons, we can have an action option. If you turn on the action, then we can see one drop down to which action this to be used, this button to be used. We can use for drill through, we can use for back option, we can use for bookmarks, we can use for page navigation. We have different options there. So yeah, we have to select bookmarks there and we can click on that one and it will go to the bookmark. And other thing we should keep in mind here is, if you want to use bookmarks in Power BI desktop, we have to use control plus click. But once you publish or report to Power BI service, we have to use just click, no need of control plus click. So because in the Power BI desktop, still we are in development environment, we are just still developing the reports. The click will just click the visuals or click the buttons. It will just select the buttons. That is why to bypass that one, we have to use control plus click to go to the other page to see whether the action is working or not. But once you publish or report to Power BI service, we have to just click on that button. Then it will take us to the page where we have set that bookmark in the report for other pages. So hope you got some idea about these questions and how to answer these questions. So I'll take a few questions in next sessions to discuss how we can tell in the interviews. And also I'm going to continue HSIS Tableau playlist from next session. So stay tuned for the updates. But in between, I'll also cover these things like interview questions or some kind of questions, whatever you ask in the comments. Yeah, it's a kind of mix of multiple things. And also we'll also see DAX in future sessions. Please subscribe to the channel. Please share with your friends and like the videos. That's all for now, guys. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.